Hey guys, I'm Melchi and welcome back to my channel. In the last 10 weeks, we have been exploring the perfect you. An important question that we must all ask ourselves is, who am I? We might have thought about this question but couldn't arrive at an answer. A short story will help us to answer this question further. I heard this story on a TED Talk. It was between a grandfather and his grandson. A grandfather told his grandson that there was an internal battle going on inside him. It was against a good wolf and a bad wolf. Some time later, the grandson asked his granddad, "Who won?" The grandfather replied, "The one that you feed." The way we embrace and understand our unique thoughts, actions, relations, and emotions determines which wolf we feed. By practicing the perfect you, we can feel confident, determined, and prepared. Finally, this video is a compilation of all the 10 elements of becoming the perfect you and conquering ourselves. Plato, a Greek philosopher, remarked, "The first and best victory is to conquer self." The gift of being yourself. Being yourself does not mean you're selfish and don't care about others. Being yourself is hard when we're constantly met with expectations through education, relationships, social media, and many more. Despite this, we've all heard or seen the phrase, "be yourself," many times. But why do we still struggle? We care too much about being accepted by others. Steve Jobs describes, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it by living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most importantly, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition." You and your friend might have had the exact same experience, but have totally different perspectives on it. That's what makes each of you you and unique. How can we overcome this? By knowing who we are and accepting it. We should be the first and last ones to love ourselves. When we're aware of our strengths, we use it to our advantage, which makes us successful with better self-esteem. Knowing our weaknesses, we can strive to develop them. Talking positively to ourselves daily and being grateful for the things around us can make us understand the gift of being yourself. Unlocking your I factor is not optional. It's essential. Be proud to be you. Have you ever wondered why some people make constant progress in their lives while others tend to repeat mistakes over and over again? The interesting fact is, their mindset is the difference. Successful people are open-minded. Frank Zappa said, "A mind is like a parachute. It does not work if it's not open." Being open-minded during the times of adversity and when we're new to something can be challenging, but it will make us successful overcomers. One of my favorite quotes by Albert Einstein is, "A mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size. Open-minded people love when their ideas are challenged. They ask questions. They seek to understand instead of being understood, and they're great listeners. Open-minded people see disagreements as an opportunity to expand their minds. They do not argue. Instead, they try to find the root cause of the problems so they can change their misperception. They get fascinated when other people think differently. They can change their opinions based on it. If we're not open-minded, we will find a lot of closed doors in our lives. Elon Musk said, "When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor." Taking risks is a puzzling choice because we don't know the outcome. But by not taking any, we will miss a lot of opportunities. Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, puts it like this: "The biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that's changing really quickly, the only strategy that's guaranteed to fail is not taking any risks." Taking risks has pros and cons. Taking risks allows us to try new things, embrace our opportunities to the fullest, improve our dignity, and learn new things. However, the risk taken won't always lead to success. To have a better chance of success, John C. Maxwell tells us to categorize our risks as reasonable and reckless. A reasonable risk is based on strategy, has some margin for error, is an extension of what we do well, and challenges us. A reckless risk is built on hope, has no margin for error, overwhelms us, and is not an extension of what we do well. An example of a reasonable and reckless risk is jumping off a cliff. If we decide to jump off a cliff with a safety harness, the chance we get to do it again is higher. But if we decide to jump off the same cliff without a safety harness, the chance we'll get to do it again is minimal. Whether we use a safety harness or not, the thrill is the same. I would like to end with a quote by Simon Sinek. "Some see risk as a reason not to try. Others see it as an obstacle to overcome. The choice is yours." Life is like riding a bicycle. It's all about balance. We all feel like we should involve ourselves in a lot of activities and jam-pack ourselves, but we fail to recognize that too much of anything isn't good. We should turn off our focus on things that are not essential and turn on our focus to things that are essential and we're passionate about. By this, we balance our thoughts and have a stress-free life. Stephen Covey, author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People for Teens, suggests that we focus on the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual dimensions to gain balance in life. We can focus on the physical dimension by exercising constantly, eating healthy, and getting a good night's sleep. We can boost our mental strength by reading, listening to music, spending time with nature, and learning new skills. Like Dr. Seuss puts it, the more that you read, the more things you'll know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. We can promote our emotional health by building relationships with people. We should have fun, laugh, do small acts of kindness, and be loyal. We will talk more about this in the middle of the Teenspire series. Finally, we should focus on the spiritual realm. We should set time for ourselves to meditate, keep a journal, and pray. In conclusion, this may sound like we're not being productive with our time, but actually, we're improving our memory, efficiency, and focus. This weekend, let's take time to review Sean Covey's advice. Make an effort to live every single day to the fullest and take time to do things that you love. Zig Ziglar stated, "Honesty and integrity are absolutely necessary for success in life, all areas of life." The really good news is that anyone can develop both honesty and integrity. Honesty and integrity are two words commonly used together, but what do they actually mean? Spencer Johnson says, "Honesty is telling others the truth. Integrity is telling myself the truth." Integrity is as simple as saying, "I'll do it tomorrow." But when tomorrow arrives, do we actually do it? If we do, we didn't break our integrity. Honesty is as hard as training for the Olympics. Being dishonest is as easy as turning on Netflix. Knowing the difference between the two and sticking to it even during the times of adversity is important. By being honest, we can build relationships. Honesty and integrity are two absolutely necessary and valuable skills that will help us to find our place in various environments, including workplace, higher education, social, and personal life. Choosing between the convenient way and the right way can shape us. The choice is ours. Do we want the easy way or the right way? Lie is a way. Truth is a highway.
Joyful Mary Life. Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to maintain a good attitude while waiting. We all want to get done with things fast, so we rush ourselves into it. We excuse ourselves by saying we live in a fast-paced world. It's normal for us to be like that. But that doesn't mean we have to. Why is it important to be patient? Patience brings calmness into our lives and promotes emotional health. Patience enables us to reach long-term goals instead of short-lived pleasures. Patience allows us to make proper decisions instead of impulsive ones. And finally, patience makes us understanding and empathetic, which leads to better relationships. So, how do we become patient? Slow down. Take a step back from the situation you're placed in. Think about it, then act. If thinking immediately seems a bit frustrating, wait for a few minutes, hours, days, weeks, or how much ever time you need. Do something you enjoy and then come back to it. Anxiety can be internal or external. Asking ourselves the right question in the moment can determine whether to start panicking or stay calm. We can even seek help from friends, family, and teachers. So, let's start cultivating the habit of practicing patience, and this will allow us to have a happy and stress-free life.
Ralph Waldo Emerson stated, "That which we persist in doing becomes easier for us to do. Not that the nature of the thing is changed, but our power to do is increased." Everyone tells us, be persistent and you'll find success in life. But being persistent is hard when we're met with criticisms, and some of those criticisms may be, "You shouldn't do it. Why are you doing something you're not good at? Just quit." Eventually, we get discouraged and quit. Continuing to pursue our dreams despite criticism is persistence. Herbert J. Grant said, "Trustworthiness, stick-to-itiveness, and determination are the qualities that will help you to win the battle of life." I talked about trustworthiness in the choice between convenient and right. If you would like to know more about that, make sure to check the video. To summarize what I said there, honesty is telling others the truth. Integrity is telling ourselves the truth. Stick-to-itiveness is continuing to do something even when we are met with challenges. Determination is pushing through something and achieving it. When we are determined, we believe in ourselves even when others don't. An ironic story that describes persistence is the life of Walt Disney. Disney was fired from a newspaper company because they thought he didn't have enough creativity. Disney then went on to create an animation company which failed. He was barely able to pay his bills that he had to eat dog food to survive. With the little money he had left, he went to Hollywood. Unfortunately, he did not find success the first few years he was in Hollywood. People said Mickey Mouse would fail and was met with constant rejection. It felt like he would never succeed in life. However, Disney persisted through his life and created the company we all know as Walt Disney, which has amusement parks, creates films, and is a cultural icon. Choose persistence over quitting. Getting more done in less time. It feels like we all have a lot of opportunities, but can't seem to embrace them. And it feels like time isn't in favor of us. And also, we start getting frustrated and disappointed with ourselves. The good news is that following 4 strategies can help us to get more done in less time. Setting goals, effective planning, organizing, and focusing. The second habit in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey is begin with the end in mind. What does that mean? Developing a clear picture of where we want to go in life by deciding our values and setting goals. By setting goals, we set our destiny. I came across this interesting principle in John C. Maxwell's blog for effective planning and organizing. It was, don't try to manage your time, manage yourself. What does that mean? After thinking and pondering upon it, I found out that creating a to-do list with today's task, short-term tasks, and long-term tasks can be beneficial. Today's task must be done first, followed by short-term tasks, and finally long-term tasks. But that does not mean we should ignore the long-term tasks. We should incorporate parts of the long-term tasks in today's task. By categorizing, we make it easier for us to meet with deadlines.
Till I was 6, my mom used the magnetic board to keep me organized. I always loved it when my days were filled with colorful smileys. Then, from the age of 6 till 9, I had an after-school schedule, which I created together with my mom and stuck it above my study table. After I turned 9, I started planning the week by myself. I use a paper planner as a to-do list and Google Calendar for meetings.
For focusing, the Pomodoro method. The structure of this method is to work for 25 minutes, then take a 5 minutes break, repeating this cycle for 4 times. Finally, taking a 30-minute break. By following this routine, we allow our brain to give its best, refresh, and renew. These methods have helped me to get more done in less time. Try them and comment down below how they've helped you. Being proactive, not reactive. Stephen Covey, author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, says that being proactive is an important habit to cultivate. Being proactive means we are driven by values and not impulses. Being reactive means we are driven by impulses, feelings, thoughts, emotions, and other people's treatments. Brian Tracy says be a creator of circumstances, not a creature of circumstances. Be proactive, not reactive. How can we be proactive? We can be proactive by taking responsibility for our actions, behaviors, emotions, feelings, thoughts, and doing the right thing. When we are in control of ourselves, we feel confident and prepared. Our language is a good indicator of whether we're being proactive or reactive. When we're being proactive, we use phrases like, I can, I believe, I prefer. When we're being reactive, we use phrases like, only if I have to, not interested, I don't want to. Reactive people do not take accountability for their own mistakes. However, there are some things we can't control, like the weather or other people's treatment. But we can control the way we decide to reply to it. For example, if the weather is rainy, we could dress appropriately. Sometimes we think of being proactive, but end up being highly reactive. Something that comes to my mind is the recent pandemic we are witnessing. In the beginning of the pandemic, people bought so much toilet paper that we went into scarcity of toilet paper. Being proactive does not mean overreacting to things. Stephen Covey says every single day we have 100 chances to be proactive or reactive. This weekend, let's try to write down some of those chances and consciously choose being proactive. The highest form of thought is gratitude. Oprah Winfrey says, be thankful for what you have. You'll always end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never ever have enough. Brené Brown describes, practicing gratitude invites joy into our lives. But if we want that joy, we must first practice gratitude. What are some ways we can practice? We should have a gratitude journal or come up with some other fun way. She talks about a method called the 1, 2, 3, 4 method. At 12:34 p.m., her family would shout out something they're grateful for. Practicing gratitude during the time of adversity helps us to see things positively when things aren't going well. Sometimes at school, we would randomly shout out things we are grateful for. Every time we would do that, I would feel like, wow, I never noticed my life was so amazing. I would like to end with a quote by John F. Kennedy. As we practice gratitude, we should never ever forget the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them.